In the know for Monday, June 19, the 170th day of 2023. There are 195 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Give you a chance to win. Look back on Father's Day. That and a whole lot more coming up today. Here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Paige. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
We've established over the years that you don't have any allergies.
I do not.
You're not allergic to poison ivy.
I am not.
Why are you covered in calamine lotion?
I think I got into a bug's nest.
A bug's? You're going with bug's nest?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I am.
How long are you going to maintain that it's the bug's nest that you got into?
As long as I have maintained that I don't have allergies.
Until a physician says, no, you got poison ivy. But okay, we'll call it bug bite. But Dr. Alea has been treating you with the calamine lotion.
Yes, bless its heart.
Full white coat, stethoscope, glasses, and everything.
Everything.
So
yes.
she's been a pretty good
She's been the best.
Yeah,
couldn't ask for somebody better to take care of.
He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Shelbyville. Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam. Try it again.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Did I get that right? Were you in Shelbyville for basketball?
Yeah, multiple places in Shelbyville, yeah.
Yeah, you're all over the place. Did you say hi to my Aunt Phyllis?
I did not know.
Okay,
but I do give props that I walked into the gym and there was somebody who was reffing the game that wasn't wearing ref clothes, and I looked closer, and it was Chris Gaither.
Oh,
He'd gotten out there, and I guess one of the refs had to take a break or something, so he stepped out there, and he was reffing himself.
He was doing it all, huh?
Yeah, it was interesting. His team was playing, though.
His team was playing, and
In
he
the
was
game,
reffing?
yeah.
I bet he was harder on his team.
I would imagine that
would
he
have been.
probably was, but it was
Yeah,
interesting.
That would
Yeah.
be the way that he would. So, a little Cougar basketball over the weekend for
Yeah,
Father's Day.
they played 4 games over the weekend. They lost the 2 I went to on Saturday, but ended up beating Chris Gaither's team on Sunday morning, and then lost a close game to Mason County, who's always a really, really good team up in the northern portion of the state.
Are you now scouting for one of the NBA teams? Did you get picked up like as a stringer scout for the
Travis
Bulls
Perry.
or somebody? Was Travis Perry, was he the real deal?
He was good, but I mean, you could tell that he wasn't going all the way. Just because, I mean, if we're being honest, Lyon County's one of the best teams in the state. Grayson County, not there yet.
Right.
Could be in a couple of years. But so it was. He clearly was saving it for some later opponents.
You don't want to get. Not only that, but you also don't want to goof around and, ruin your season on a summer game. So
yeah, and I know
it
was interesting. Matt Painter from Purdue was there watching the Cougars, obviously.
Clearly.
Because that's what I asked. The school bus had to take the team to the other one, and I asked the coaches when they came in, I said, did you not give Matt Painter the ride over? I assumed he was following you all.
It's funny how the scouts didn't follow along.
I didn't know.
That's crazy. It's a rainy morning. It was a bit of a rainy overnight, and we may have rain off and on throughout the day today, 100% chance of that. And you've probably already seen some in your neck of the woods. It'll be mild today as well, 75, then an overnight low of 68. May get some rain into the early morning tomorrow, and a high of 77 tomorrow. May get all of our rain for the month of June in about a 36-hour period. We did have some last Sunday, so I can't say that entirely, but we need it, and it's welcome. Then we'll get rain out of the way, 75, 77. Then first day of summer has a 40% chance of rain, maybe an afternoon shower. First day of summer is Wednesday with a high of 78, then the high of 78. Friday is 82, 85 on Saturday, and then 88 on Sunday, so still not overly warm. Highs in the 70s for most of the early part of the week, and highs in the 80s for the second half of the week. So that's good. I'm glad we're not in the southwest United States, because they're having a major heat wave. They're in the 110s and 120s down in southern Arizona and New Mexico and those areas. So the southeast has some power outages after some big storms move through. So some of the southeast United States dealing with some tornadic activity, but then down around portions of the southwest, they are hot. So as far as I'm concerned, they can keep the hot temperatures down there in the desert, where you expect them to be.
Because the Reds were down there in Houston.
Oh yeah, they were in Houston.
So they had to bring the red hot in there.
They did. They made it hot. National news, we knew that Secretary of State Blinken was meeting with Xi Jinping, the president of China, to try and disarm or de-escalate tensions between the U.S. and China. That meeting already took place today, and both sides are saying they were committed to trying to figure out how to repair relationship between the two. I figure the tug of war over Taiwan is going to continue, and so long as that is not solved, you're going to continue to see some tensions, but at least we're talking, and that's probably the most important part, is to keep the dialogue open, because when dialogue stops, then you start trying to imagine what might be going on the other side, and then it leads you to perhaps making decisions that you would not otherwise make. Also saw that Nikki Haley, she's a presidential candidate, and she's a former member of she's a former diplomat in the Trump administration, former governor of South Carolina. I did not know that her husband is still full-time Major Michael Haley. He is being deployed as a staff officer with the 218th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, which the National Guard says is providing support in the Horn of Africa. So her husband, Michael Haley, is deploying to Africa for what will be pretty much the remainder of her presidential campaign, no matter how that goes, whether she gets the nomination or whether she goes to the primary and does not. But I thought, for someone as important as I would consider Nikki Haley to be in the national landscape of politics, my guess is if they wanted to, they probably could pull some strings and get him assigned somewhere else if they wanted to, but they're not. They're saying his job is to serve in the National Guard, and he's going to the Horn of Africa, and that'll be that. So thank them for their service. All right, news headlines closer to home. The name of a man shot and killed late Friday night on Mount Zion Road has been released. State police are leading a death investigation after a female shot and killed 48-year-old Basil Ashley, formerly of Litchfield. Fern Creek in Louisville was listed as his current address. This happened on Mount Zion Road, about 10 miles southeast of Clarkson. So this happened Friday night about 11:15, and it happened at a residence in the 1200 block of Mount Zion Road after a female notified Grayson County Dispatch that she twice shot Ashley. She told dispatch she shot Ashley in the leg and chest. First responders found Ashley was deceased. He was pronounced dead at the scene by the deputy coroner, James Embry. The sheriff's office then requested state police to respond. The preliminary investigation showed a 45-year-old female shot Ashley after he forcibly entered a bedroom occupied by the resident. Also revealed that Ashley and the female were at one time in a relationship which had a history of domestic violence. The emphasis was this was not a random home invasion, and the case will be presented to a Grayson County grand jury. The body was transported to the state medical examiner's office in Louisville for an autopsy. So, you know, the line that I took there was the case will be presented to a Grayson County grand jury. If the preliminary investigation includes most of the details in this scene, you know, if it's being presented as historical relationship with domestic violence, current home invasion into a bedroom sounds like a self-defense shooting to the point that the individual then called dispatch and said, here is what has happened. I need your help. And then investigators show up and do their job. That sounds to me like quick dismissal by a grand jury. Like if I'm on the grand jury and I hear those details, I'm like, be on your way, you know. But now that perhaps there's something else in the investigation that's not in the preliminary that we'll learn, but otherwise sounds pretty simple and straightforward.
That's why you have a grand jury, though.
That's right. That's why they make the big bucks. No way, they make the same bucks as everyone else. So it's
$12 a day.
It's the same jury duty. A Caneyville man is facing a host of charges after he strangled a woman into unconsciousness, threatened the victim with a knife, and assaulted a child. This happened Saturday night about 11:30. First responders were dispatched to West Maple Street in Caneyville after dispatch received a call from a woman saying a 27-year-old Kyle William Bratcher was holding her and her 3 children against their will. During the call, according to a citation, Bratcher could be heard by the dispatcher throwing her around the residence. Police knocked on the door multiple times, announced their presence. After no one answered the door and fearing for the safety of the female and 3 children, they forcibly entered the residence, made contact with the female and the 3 small children in the back bedroom. Bratcher was arrested prior to being taken into arrest prior to being taken into custody. The victim told police that Bratcher had arrived at the residence after attending a party. The victim and Bratcher began to argue, and things de-escalated from there. An arrest was made. So, over $1.3 million in road work is, I said de-escalated. I guess they actually escalated from there. Over $1.3 million in road work is slated to take place in Grayson County. The Transportation Cabinet is scheduled to begin paving work and landslide repair, along with routine maintenance on several roadways. The District 4 Maintenance Supervisor, Bo Warren, said last week that undergoing paving work will be Barton Run Road, Foxborough Drive. The work on Barton Run Road will begin at mile point 0 and extend south for about 2.1 miles. Foxborough Drive will begin at mile point 0 and extend about a half a mile. So Rocky Hill Estates Road will be getting some work apparently, and some slide repair will take place on Old Layton Road. About $1.3 million for the Transportation Cabinet. And by the way, this is the week that they're expecting for the work to continue on the 62 project between Litchfield and Clarkson.
Well, and then I drove over the half bridge.
The new half bridge?
Yeah, which it's a little weird. Driving over a bridge, it's half a bridge.
Yeah, I drove over it Friday as well, and there's a weird chicane to that little area there right now until they get it all smoothed out. But they did the demolition of the old half of the bridge last week, and so now we'll be building that back, and so it'll be nice when it's finished. An Ohio County business owner previously convicted in a sex trafficking case involving a minor has been indicted by a federal grand jury for rolling back miles on vehicles he sold at car lots in Beaver Dam and Bowling Green. A federal grand jury in Bowling Green returned indictments against 60-year-old Randy Huff, who is the owner of Huff's Auto Sales in Beaver Dam and Southside Auto Sales in Bowling Green. Also indicted an employee, 50-year-old Donnie Wilson. Each were charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to commit odometer tampering, and 4 counts of odometer tampering. The indictment states between June 2018 and January 2023, they aided and abetted by devising a scheme to defraud the buyers of used cars by fraudulently reducing the mileage shown on the odometers. thereby including the buyers of the vehicles to pay more than they would have if they had known the vehicle's true mileages. Now, we talked about this after the arrests and investigation. Now the indictments have been made. And I was thinking about the old days where you actually literally had to roll them backward, that you could, kind of how that works. But in the computerized era, it made me wonder, well, how do you do that with modern vehicles? And it says, as part of the scheme, mechanics working for Huff reduce the mileage shown on the vehicle's odometers by swapping the odometers with lower mileage replacement odometers. And after altering the vehicle's odometers and titles, he and other employees sold the vehicles to customers at their 2 auto lots, leading to larger profits for Huff. So wow. I guess you can buy replacement ones, and then you probably falsify them and say, let's say 18,000 miles, and throw it in there. And
did he also put sawdust in the gas tanks and have a daughter named Matilda?
No.
Wasn't it sawdust in the gas tanks for Matilda?
I
think I was going to say that was going to be the one more for her, knowing Matilda.
I should know this.
I think Matilda's dad did that, and then I think he also would put sawdust in the gas tank because that would make him come back and have to get work done on the car.
Yeah, I heard sawdust in transmissions, but it was it sugar? You put sugar in tanks, or
yes,
is that what it was?
Yeah, sugar in tanks, or like a candy bar was always infamous. You could drop a candy bar.
Really?
Down in.
I think that's a fable. Is it true? A single candy bar can mess up a...
I mean, I've never done it myself.
Wow.
But I can't say that I don't know anybody that did.
You want to try it on Sam's car?
Not particularly.
Okay. Governor Beshear has announced that the state is seeking proposals from private sector organizations interested in helping Kentucky expand its electric vehicle charging network. The governor and the transportation cabinet issued a final RFP to build up to 37 stations along Kentucky interstates and parkways. Most of the money to build the network will come from federal formula funds made possible by the bipartisan infrastructure law, with a match by private entity funds. Proposals will be due by close of business on August 24. The EV charging program RFP encourages proposals from private sector entities. Selected parties will be responsible for constructing, owning, operating, and maintaining new EV charging stations across the state. Yeah, I mean, if we, the governor says we're the car battery capital of the world, and we may very well be. Clearly, a big investment being made in it in our neck of the woods over in Glendale. But electric vehicles are going to be hard to have until you have a network of charging stations. It's one thing to do them at home, but what's limiting, we're a driving state. We don't have mass transit. We're rural. We cover lots of miles. So it's different than driving in town where you go 2 miles to the store and you can charge so the charging aspect of that has to be solved, but it's not just Kentucky where that has to be solved. We like to also leave the state. So you need to know that you got a charging network that you can rely upon when you get out there in your Fred Flintstone battery car. You don't want to be Fred Flintstoning when your battery runs out. It can wear your feet out in a hurry. Kentucky seasonally adjusted preliminary May 2023 unemployment rate saw a slight uptick. The preliminary May of 2023 jobless rate was 3.8, up 0.1% from April, but unchanged from last year at this time. Bob Huggins out as the coach at West Virginia basketball. A suspicion of drunken driving arrests was the latest incident that led to him.
Probably an understatement too.
Yeah, it was. It was like 0.2. I think
210.
That the legal definition is suspicion of drunken driving until he's found guilty, etc. But yeah, 0.210 is what I said. Like, holy moly! I understand. Isn't 0.10? Is that
I think 0.06 is the limit in Kentucky.
Is that the limit?
I think in Kentucky.
I don't really know how those calculate and how they work out, but 0.210 sounds like a lot. To me.
You're gone.
And so he was already in trouble for a comment that he made on Cincinnati Sports Radio.
Just regular radio. It was on Bill Cunningham.
Oh, I see. Okay, so but it was making reference to Xavier.
Yeah, because he was Cincinnati's coach, and he
So he
had a reference to their fans.
He made a slur. And so that was like, oh, you can't do that. So anyway, Huggins issued a letter and said he had embarrassed the university, embarrassed himself, he'd embarrassed his family, and he was going to step away. So probably time anyway. Joey Hart, a 6'5", 180-pound guard from Linton, Indiana, has signed to play for the Wildcats, called a sharpshooter, being added to the Calipari roster. Is this a good get?
I mean, you need bodies.
That's good.
That's the biggest thing that you need. I mean, it's if anything else, come on and hit a couple threes.
Sure. 8th straight win today down in Houston town. The De La Cruz and Fraley both drove in 3 runs in a 3-run 10th. That gave the Reds a 9-7 win over the Stros. 8 in a row.
8 in a row.
Have they not won 8 in a row since, 2012?
Correct. Yep.
Wow.
America's team. That's what they've been dubbed as.
They're exciting. So they swept the Astros. Yankees got swept at Boston, butt heads. And
and again, obviously, it was everywhere. You have to put that on national TV 14 weeks in a row.
By the way, I didn't see it. I didn't watch any Yankees for the weekend. I'm busy doing other stuff, but I was curious. The Saturday game that got rained out was supposed to be on Fox. The Sunday game was supposed to be on ESPN. Do you know how they covered those yesterday?
I think local did Sunday, and then ESPN still did the night game.
The night game last night.
Yeah, yeah. I even saw some people, and again, it's just like it's nice seeing the Red Sox and Yankees every time, but it's also nice to let's see some of the younger talent too.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of really fun young players in the game.
The U.S. Open had my attention all weekend. I was watching it until the final shot last night by Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark, I think 29 years of age, had considered quitting the game for a while when things weren't going his way after the passing of his mom. And so he was solid. He had opportunities to falter down the stretch, and he was able to seal the victory. So Wyndham Clark at the Los Angeles Country Club wins the 123rd U.S. Open out on the edge of Beverly Hills. So congratulations to him. So anyway, there are your headlines from the weekend. We're going to talk Father's Day when we come back here on In the Know.
Does the nagging pain of a sore knee, shoulder, or hip keep you from doing the things you love? Lose the pain and get back in the game with the help of Owensboro Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Located at Twin Lakes Medical Center, Dr. Isaac Miller and Dr. Ted Rogers are your local experts for hip, knee, and shoulder problems, from minor sprains to advanced procedures. Learn more and schedule online at owensborohealth.org/ortho.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 14th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, College for the
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart. 270-259-5604 or GraysonCPAs.com.
Beach Bend Park. That's where my summer happens.
It's where my family's come for generations for great times.
It's where amusement rides and water park slides are just my size.
It's where my friends and I have a blast on the big thrill rides.
It's where we can do all the attractions and not spend time in long lines.
Beach Bend Park has something for everyone, from classic amusement attractions the whole family can enjoy, children's rides, to big, fast, sky-reaching thrill rides. Plus, cool off with Splash Lagoon Water Park, where you can relax in the lazy river, ride the waves, and take the plunge on slides from mile to wild. Come to Beach Bend Park to create some memories, including fireworks back for Friday Night Lights in July. It's where you can have unlimited thrills with a 2023 season pass for just $74.99 with unlimited visits, a free souvenir cup, 2 anytime bring a friend free tickets, discounts, and more. For daily specials, birthday parties, and hours, visit beachbend.com.
Living on the lake is a luxury. Lake homeowners have been supplementing their properties with the best quality rock, stone, and asphalt products from Scotty's Contracting and Stone for years. Scotty's Quarry has been serving our lake customers with cleaner, underground mined, pure limestone for driveways, landscaping, and construction projects. Our crushed stone products can also be used to assist in erosion control near waterways. If you live on the lake, contact Scotty's Contracting and Stone for an estimate on high-quality products and service at 270-259-5696.
Amazon's second headquarters. Arlington County Board Chair Christian Dorsey spoke at the ribbon-cutting ceremony late last week to open the first phase of Metropolitan Park near Washington, D.C.
In the great words of our statesman, President Joe Biden, this is a big effing deal.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin also attended. Artificial intelligence has become so believable that there are growing worries about how it could be used for evil, such as scams. There have been calls for Congress to step in, but Senator Ted Cruz is worried that over-regulation could hamper U.S. innovation. The hit Netflix series Squid Game is gearing up for its return. The show revealed its cast for Season 2, which includes returning and new cast members. The second season of Squid Game is set to debut next year. That's your tech report. Trey Thomas, NBC News Radio.
And I drive, and I think about my life and wonder why that I slowly die inside. Every time I turn that truck around, right at the Georgia line, and I count the days and the miles back home to you on that Highway 20 ride.
Today is Juneteenth. It's officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day. It commemorates the 1865 announcement of General Order 3, proclaiming freedom from slavery in Texas. Took that long for the word to travel across the country down in Texas, and so today is a national holiday. I guess it's the third time that it's become a national holiday. So probably mail is disrupted today. I don't know about banking. I do know... I heard a little bit earlier. So you just might want to call ahead today before you go somewhere. If it's one of those entities you deal with that could be impacted by the national holiday calendar. Today is also World Sauntering Day.
Oh, okay.
You talk about sauntering around, doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's Eat an Oreo Day. We almost did that yesterday.
Almost.
We opted for
So
the
close.
cheesecake instead. But I guess that leaves the Oreo dessert as a potential for today if we were to want to celebrate.
You really picked cheesecake over Oreos?
It was,
Yes.
well,
Oof.
yeah, but it was also, we were taking it somewhere, so.
Yeah, we're taking it to an event. And today is Garfield the Cat Day. Garfield the Cat.
Is it his birthday or something?
Garfield the Cat, it's honoring Jim Davis's Fat Cat comic strip on the anniversary of its debut in 1978.
And I want to say that his debut was his birthday, I think,
Maybe.
if my memory's right.
I've actually gotten Alea to watch some Garfield. So I've been out on the, and doing things and just turned it on. And she enjoys it. So.
Garfield, he'd say, big fat hairy deal or something like that.
Lasagna.
I'm going to say Garfield is my favorite non-sports cat. But then I don't know that that's entirely true. I think I like him better than Tom on Tom and Jerry.
Sylvester?
Are we excluding big cats?
Sylvester.
Because are we excluding like large, big cats? Like
Simba?
Oh,
Simba.
no. Yeah.
Okay,
See, yeah, I mean more like domesticated house cat.
Okay.
Like if I were, I'd seem like Garfield seems about right. Alea yesterday, out of the blue, went back for more Rabbit of Seville. Like she said, come into my shop, let me cut your mop. And that was her way of saying, put that on again. So we put that on. And then we ran out of time to get to dinner, but I was going to share with her Hillbilly Hair, because I think once you learn Rabbit of Seville, you need Hillbilly Hair. She also learned that I can do a little Bugs Bunny. So then it was on demand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, talk like Bugs Bunny. And then it was, on and on. But I did get I have known for a few weeks that my Father's Day gift from Alea was in the works. They took care of it before school was dismissed for the season, which they've done the last couple of years. Last year they took their handprint and made fish, and it was like a fishing Father's Day, and it was very cute. This one, there are two different sheets.
Which one do you want first?
Me and my dad, I guess, is the one I probably want first. I went and snapped a photograph. So it's a picture of she. It's a picture of she and I that she's colored. And I would just like to pay. I'd like for you to pay special attention. It looks very much like her. But on me, you'll notice strategically there are 8 total hairs.
You're like Homer Simpson.
On the side of my head. There's 4 on the left side, 4 on the right side. And so apparently this is what she thinks I look like. Only hair on the side, which is about right.
Which one's which?
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of spot on. So that, but apparently several people noticed the strategic placement of the hair. So I liked it.
Is that a bowling pin or your tie?
Oh, it's my tie.
It's your tie.
Definitely wearing a necktie.
His tie, rather.
And I was wearing a necktie. Let's see the other one as well. So I was and by the way, I'd like to say yesterday she came charging with these. Like she was on a mission to deliver them. So then I also got presented a message to my dad, says, "You're the best. If I had to choose words to describe you, they would be the best, loving, and great at popsicles." Which is a true statement.
It is so true.
I am great at popsicles.
He has always been. So he even does the train. He comes through and he goes choo choo and the whole 9 yards.
Sure, popsicle train coming to the station.
Yes. It's funny.
She said, "If I had $1 million, I would buy you a new truck." I said, "What color would the truck be?" She said, "Black." I said, "Yep, you know your stuff." She loves it when we go on a ride, and that means gator ride. When we get load up and go for a ride on the gator. And then, perfect. If I could tell you anything, it would be, "I love you so much." So anyway, I thought it was.
It's the sweetest.
It is the
ever.
sweetest thing. So it goes in my collection of things that she has gifted me over the years. So thank you to Alea for that.
I think we should just do this for the rest of the show.
All right. It looks about as good. It's kind of spot on.
Love it.
It's a very close facsimile. Started the day with church with Taylor was over for church, and then of course my dad at church, and we celebrated fathers. I won the prize yesterday for having the most coins in my pocket. I won with a whopping 1 cent. Now, Ralph already won a prize. He had 50 cents in his pocket, but he was disqualified because he had already won another category. So then that defaulted to me with my 1 cent. So that was nice.
I couldn't tell you the last time I changed my pocket.
Well, I only have change for my change in my pocket. If I have my keys in my pocket, I always have 1 cent. Because for our copper wedding anniversary, she gave me a 2012 U.S. penny with our initials and our wedding date on it, and it's a keychain, and so it's on my keys. So if I've got my keys, I've got at least 1 U.S. cent. So that's that. And then lunch with Taylor yesterday. Then we had extended family, mom and dad. We had dinner at mom and dad's, and Marita was there, and so anyway, it was good. Had barbecue. Tried some new barbecue sauces. That was good. And we had ice cream cake. Someone predicted it correctly. I said, "Oh, my mom doesn't get ice cream cakes." What'd we have? Ice cream cake.
I don't know why. I just had that feeling. And then she gets it out, and I couldn't help but turn and look at him and go,
"Aha! I told you." Yeah, so she was right. Avoid using this confusing workplace jargon. Jargon, by its nature, is a type of language that's exclusive to professional circles. The most confusing examples of workplace jargon surprised me on a couple of them because I thought these are not obvious. One, boiling the ocean. Never heard boiling the ocean. Don't know what boiling the ocean means. Do you know what it means, Sam?
Like, I can context clues. What, like it's impossible to boil the ocean kind of thing.
Maybe. Herding cats.
I've heard that.
I don't know herding cats. That's self-explanatory. I've seen it done.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said
I've
you
done
did.
it.
I thought you said you didn't know that. I was like,
Oh, yeah, I definitely know that. Ducks in a row? Sure,
get your
know
ducks
that
in a row.
one. Move the needle? I mean, in our business, we know move the needle probably before anyone.
Even though we don't have a needle anymore, do we?
No, but we got fancy graphics that move back and forth. Ducks in a row, move the needle, run it up the flagpole. Yeah, everybody knows run it up the flagpole, don't they?
I don't know that I've ever heard that used.
Drinking the Kool-Aid,
Definitely have heard that.
out of pocket.
Yep.
So I know out of pocket twice. One, you got out of pocket expenses, but then that's a way of excluding that your absence. I'm out of pocket for a couple of days. Building the plane while flying it. That's one I got a little tired of during COVID, I got to tell you. Throwing spaghetti at the wall. And is the juice worth the squeeze?
I've always wanted to throw spaghetti at the wall because
Just to see?
Yeah, because they say that's when it's finished. If it's al dente,
Yes,
you
I've
throw
done
it at the wall.
Yeah, I've tried that before,
Does
and I
it
think
work?
I read that. I want to say I watched how the Food Network does like the science. Alton Brown, and I think he said that that's hogwash.
Okay.
I think
It
like
is.
the science.
Well, I guess I won't.
Was
be
it in
throwing.
a fit of rage when you
No, I
threw your
think it was-
skyline at the wall?
I
And
would never.
Were you
that
trying?
Would be, yes,
Were you
yes,
trying?
yes. I
Yes,
was.
I
I
wanted
had
to
read
do
it
that.
somewhere,
Okay.
and it might have even been at the restaurant because where we would make our pasta, there was a huge white wall. So I think I took one out and threw it up against and.
See, my thing is where where I boil pasta, I don't make it, is my own home. So I'm not trying to throw anything on my own walls.
But Sam, in your case, yours was a professional endeavor.
Yeah, we were trying to see if we wanted to make sure our mac and cheese was cooked to perfection.
You were trying to deepen your professional knowledge. I got it. I applaud that. Tic Tac is launching a new Sprite flavor.
All right, maybe.
Tic Tacs have been entertaining churchgoers for hundreds of years, and now not just your basic white or spearmint or whatever
Cinnamon.
color they are, cinnamon. Now you get
Fruity.
Sprite version. Okay.
Well, we weren't allowed to have Tic Tacs.
It's because they're noisemakers, right?
Yes.
That's why you had to have quiet candy.
if we were even allowed that. Yeah.
All right.
Papa saw you. Yeah.
And so
it was
we
over.
went from Tic Tac to TikTok. A TikToker is shocked comparing ingredients in American ketchup versus Canadian ketchup. Yes, there is a difference.
A lot sweeter in America would be my assumption.
Well, it's interesting. Heinz in America has tomato concentrate from red ripe tomatoes, distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup, and then salt, spice, onion powder, and natural flavoring. Canada Heinz has tomato paste, sugar, vinegar, salt, spices. And so it's the high fructose corn syrup and the corn syrup, which gives ours the sweeter. But I will tell you, if I get away from Heinz, if I get anything from Heinz, like the recipe changes, I just go, that's not real ketchup. Because I want I'm conditioned to expect Heinz ketchup, but apparently it's different. Different places that you go, and apparently in different countries. So ketchup's going to come up again on the show before the day is over, so hang around for that. Got your chance to win. Got the weekend box office. Got Chart Toppers, Pearl of Wisdom, Point to Ponder, and more before the show is through here on In the Know.
Take your remodeling project to the next level and transform an ordinary space into an extraordinary one with Masonite doors and atrium windows from Future Designs. With Masonite and Atrium, you get countless design options that give you unmatched flexibility, energy-efficient glass choices, hardware, and more. So don't just remodel, transform with Masonite doors and atrium windows built around you. Start your transformation at Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Congratulations! You're gonna be a mom, and we're here to help every adorably tiny step of the way. Now, expectant and new mothers up to 1 year are eligible for no-cost health coverage through K-CHIP or Medicaid. Just visit us at connect.ky.gov/K-CHIP to qualify and enroll. Then sit back and relax for a minute, okay? You've got enough going on.
You may have heard the kids chanting about favorite freebies at Holiday World and Splash and Safari.
Free soft drinks, free party! plenty of favorite first and onlys to shout about too, like soaring on America's only launched wing coaster, Thunderbird! The world's longest water coaster, Mammoth! In fact, we're the water coaster capital of the world! For summer fun worth shouting about, find your family's favorites with tickets at holidayworld.com.
Maybe you're not one of those frequent flyers, but sometimes you just want to hit the beach. Or see your new granddaughter. Or go to that out-of-state wedding. Whatever the reason for your getaway, if it involves flying in the U.S. or visiting a military base after May 7th, 2025, you'll need a Kentucky Real ID driver's license or an ID that is Real ID compliant. Make a plan to get your Kentucky Real ID now. Go to realidky.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential, because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Use caution on the roads this afternoon as rain continues to increase, locally heavy at times. That can lead to a lot of that water ponding on the roadway, and not as much traffic on the road due to a holiday. Won't be able to see those in time, so just take it slow this afternoon, this evening. The rain will come to more of a scattered fashion later on this evening, with temperatures easing back into the 60s. For the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
Did you know Kraft produces enough Cool Whip each year to fill the Grand Canyon? I would love to see the Grand Canyon filled with Cool Whip.
Me too.
I would love to see it, and I would love to have a big spoon. I like Cool Whip more than I should.
Yeah, I mean, I like it all, but maybe Ready Whip instead?
No.
Well, see, Ready Whip's a whole lot more fun.
It is perhaps more fun, but I don't find it to be as good. But now that's just me.
Thicker.
I kind of like the idea of taking the Cool Whip and just dumping it out on top of something, and it maintains its shape.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If you went and you asked Alea, would you rather have the Cool Whip or the Ready Whip, and you explained it to her, I think she's going with Ready Whip.
She's going to say no to both.
She doesn't like it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, it's a whole lot more fun.
That's
I mean, she might want to spray it on.
But think about it. That's a lot of
That's
to
a
fill
lot.
the
That's
Grand
a lot of
Canyon
Cool Whip.
a year.
I don't
to
think I
fill the
knew
Grand
that
Canyon?
you liked Cool Whip that much.
Yeah, I do. I
So
don't know why.
it's actually a low fat, low calorie. I had a little bit left over, and I put some in the freezer.
Yeah.
So it's a really great diet substitution for ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
So there's some in there. I had no idea that you.
Yeah, I like it.
That's weird.
Well, one of my favorite dessert that my mother makes. It's in the title, French Cool Whip dessert.
Yes, but I thought that was just kind of like a mama thing.
I mean, it's one of my favorite desserts that she makes, without a doubt. Maybe my favorite dessert that she makes. The weekend, let's give away. I'll tell you what, let's do something different. I don't want to do the water cooler question today. I am intrigued by the phone starter, and this will come back up in the point to ponder. But here's what we'll do. What did we end up giving away on Friday?
Nobody won.
Oh, that's
My
right.
memory's right. We haven't given away Beach Bin in a while, though.
All right, let's do Beach Bin. Text your answer to 270-259-6000. Of all the entries, we'll draw out from one, so everybody will qualify to win. 270-259-6000. But here's what I want to know. What foods do you mix together that horrify other people? So I'll just give you like peas and mashed potatoes is pretty common. People put peas and mashed potatoes together, and I don't find that to be horrifying. I'm not saying that. Other people may look at that and go, "Oh," especially people that don't want any of their foods to touch. If they saw peas and mashed potatoes together, they would be horrified by that. So I'm asking you, what foods do you put together that horrify others? And text that answer to 270-259-6000.
Scrambled eggs and ketchup.
Yeah. That's more of a recent addition for me. I didn't used to do that, but I have done that more recently.
That and scrambled eggs and grape jelly.
Let's don't talk a whole lot more about it because I want to see. I may be asking you the question again, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
So, but I want a sampling beyond this room of what people put together on. And no, pizza and corn don't count at school. That's not what I mean by. It's weird. They always serve corn with the rectangular pizza at school. That's not mixing them together.
Sweet corn and Pringles?
Yeah. The weekend box office. The Flash at number 1 with $55 million. Elemental at number 2. So Disney does not win the weekend. Elemental took second with $29.5 million. I don't know that they've done a good job marketing that film. I don't think there's been as much of a run-up or build-up to Elemental as some of the others get. So The Little Mermaid was still at 5th. Spider-Man 3, Transformers at 4, Little Mermaid at 5th, Guardians of the Galaxy still. So there's still a Disney influence there, obviously, in the top 10, but Elemental comes in at number 2. Number 2. What else? Oh, Avatar apparently is a new series on Netflix. Avatar: The Last Airbender. The Netflix drops the first teaser for the live-action series, so you can see that.
This was a little bit past my time. I was a little too old for this.
Avatar Airbender.
Yeah, this would have been more of like Anna, just a little bit younger than me. Like Anna, probably, if she would have been a Nick kid, would have watched this.
Gotcha. I did see last night Alea was playing with Mom's phone, and she was playing with the filters, and she turned herself into Avatar.
She is dying to watch, and she's not at the age yet, but she is dying to watch the Avatar movies.
Yeah, not exactly ready.
Well, these are different than like the Disney Avatar.
Right.
Guy, yeah. Pete Davidson charged with reckless driving for a Beverly Hills crash. So apparently Pete's out doing bad things. King Charles and British royals own 1/6 of the earth. I had no idea. King Charles III and the British royal family own 90% of the land in Canada. I didn't know that.
They're still technically under
under British rule, because their anthem is still "God Save the Queen." And King now they changed it. 6.6 billion acres is what the British royal family owns. The Catholic Church worldwide is only 177 million acres. Of course, they own them in small plots. They own cathedrals and blocks rather than lots of. But there was another group that stood out to me that was weird. There was a farm. The Australian Agricultural Company owns 17 million. So a big farm company like that with only 17 million, that came as a surprise to me. Sam, did you see the headline where the Pittsburgh Pirates bus driver was
I missed
arrested?
this until I saw it this morning.
So the Pittsburgh Pirates bus driver was arrested and charged with DUI while transporting the team to Milwaukee. You can't be doing that.
It was interesting, too, that he's from North Carolina, which is it's interesting to me as to how that all ties in.
That worked out. All right, we're going to get to a break. We'll come back. Got Point to Ponder, got Pearl of Wisdom, got Chart Toppers, and we'll find out what weird foods you put together that horrify others, and we'll find out our winner. Coming up here on In the Know.
How will you know the time is right to get married. A lot of couples believe they'll feel ready, but basing an important decision like marriage on feelings alone is risky. While emotions can be informative, they can also be deceiving. Couples who date often float along in what I call a love fog, which is that dreamy state where a relationship feels good but isn't grounded in reality. Not only are the couple's romantic feelings off the charts, but they minimize their differences and gloss over the problems. To make an informed decision, I want to encourage you to ask 3 questions of yourself and of the person you hope to marry. Where do I come from? Who am I now? And where am I going? The question, where do I come from, will help you understand how past experiences and influences have shaped your view of marriage and family. Who am I now will help you determine what works in your relationship and what areas may need some improvement. Where am I going will help you ensure that you and your potential spouse have unity in crucial areas of life like parenting, finances, and faith. As Hall of Fame golf teacher Butch Harmon says, feel and real are not the same thing. Instead of relying on what you feel to chart your course forward, ask questions, engage in meaningful conversation, and seek what's true. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 888-SHARE-19. That's 888-SHARE-19. 888-SHARE-19.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, your feel better starts here at Midway Pharmacy.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. You'll not be surprised. My point to ponder was, what foods do you mix together that horrify others? So I wanted a sampling broader. Now, I'll tell you, some of you took this to a complete place that I would have never imagined that it might go. Mine was going to be, and I don't do this very often, one, because I don't have bologna very often, but I like to put ketchup on a bologna sandwich. Like instead of Miracle Whip or mayo, I would put ketchup on bologna.
I'll put mustard on my bologna,
You
without
do?
a doubt.
Okay, so
I do mayo or mustard.
Especially a fried bologna.
yeah, I will do mayo, but over the years I've done that.
I mean, you got to think
on
that bologna is not that far off from a hot dog, and you put ketchup on a hot dog.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So I didn't. I just thought. But now some of you, we had a lot.
Some of you kind of nasty.
Some of it is. I did like it. I think it was funny. Hummus and anything else. Yeah, hummus is sometimes kind of horrifying, but I've gotten to like it a little bit better.
I like hummus.
What was that? I thought mustard and scrambled eggs was a unique proposition.
But probably wouldn't be bad.
It probably would not be bad, but I would have never considered putting it together. Peanut butter and pickles. What else? There were a bunch. They're coming in so fast. I can't.
Coffee on biscuits is one I see.
What was that one?
We had one that was putting. Let me see here. I had it too up. Was putting. Gosh, no, I've even lost it.
Yeah, something happened. Now I've gone back in time. Hang on. Honey, what were yours? Did you have one that you thought that would horrify other people?
I mean, I think the jelly with scrambled eggs for people that don't get it, because it turns it green, because I use grape jelly.
Someone else sent that one in as well.
Ketchup with eggs. I mean, I like barbecue sauce on plain bread, but to me that's not weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Here's one. Bacon bits on their chocolate pudding.
Oh, yeah. I glanced at that one, too. That was one that was really weird. Like bacon bits on chocolate pudding. Like
Doritos and oatmeal cream pies.
Ooh, yeah. Nah.
Oh, I would so do that.
Doritos and oatmeal cream pie.
What I'm wondering is, do you like open up the
Don't you dare make fun of ketchup on bologna then.
I didn't make fun.
Okay.
Well, I mean, no, I would definitely. And I think you would have to lift the lid. I think you lift the lid, put the Doritos on. Right?
I do like that one person just said, I just mix all the food together on my plate.
All the food together.
I mean, I can do that.
All right, so I guess I need to pick a number. What am I picking between?
Let's go 1 to 37.
1 to 37 is 34. 34 is the number. So congratulations.
We will. Do you want to know who that is?
No, I mean, no, I don't need to know. It's between you and the person.
So I guess somebody will just be surprised they'll get a text message from us.
Yeah. On television today, on Black Pop celebrating the power of black culture. Also on AMC, the series premiere of You Are Here. Coleman Domingo travels to Savannah, Georgia to celebrate the end of Fear of the Walking Dead with friend and co-star Kim Dickens. On PBS, the season 2 premiere of The Great American Recipe.
What's that on?
Completely missed season 1. PBS.
Sure, it's probably pretty good then.
On KET, WNIN, like whichever PBS station you use. Today's highlight in history, this day in 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was approved by the U.S. Senate 73 to 27. This date in 1775, George Washington was commissioned by the Continental Congress as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. In 1910, I already told you it was the troops in Galveston heard of the abolition of slavery and the Civil War being over. This date in 1865. The first ever Father's Day was celebrated in Spokane, Washington, this date in 1910. The Federal Communications Commission was created this date in 1934. It replaced the Federal Radio Commission. Birthdays today, Hall of Fame race car driver Shirley Muldowney is 83. Felicia Rashad is 75. We know her as Claire Huxtable. Ann Wilson of Hart is 73. Kathleen Turner is 69. Paula Abdul is Forever Your Girl and 61 today. Boris Johnson is 59 and Macklemore is 41. Gone but not forgotten, Mo Howard in 1897. Hey, Mo. Lou Gehrig in 1903. Lester Flatt in 1914. Let's see if we can find a chart topper. I hear, I hadn't thought of barbecue on bread, but that seems like that would be okay.
I mean, if you go to the barbecue restaurant, they'll usually give you a slice of white bread with it.
Yeah, I saw George Lindsay the other day was talking about a mayo sandwich. Just put mayonnaise on sandwich and just...
Or to even further gross you out with a little tomato.
Like, why? Poor bread.
1960, the Everly Brothers, #1 with Kathy's Clown. Sam draws the line at ketchup smoothie. He'll go no further than ketchup smoothie.
Yeah, pretty much.
A tomato smoothie, also known as ketchup. Let's go to 1969. Elvis Aaron Presley, #1.
On a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
Isn't one of his bigger one, It's a good song. It's just not one of his...
And his mama cried.
I like Kentucky Rain more than I realize that I do. I heard, when I hear it, I go, I forgot I like that song. Yesterday I saw they were doing a feature on Ed Sullivan. It's like the 75th anniversary of the launch of the Ed Sullivan Show. And they were talking about the era when Elvis first came on the show, but they booked him like 5 times in 1 year or in a couple of years, and it was an event. All right, everybody get ready to go to Financial Peace University. Get your envelopes out. 1978, Jerry Rafferty and Baker Street. In the similar way that Werewolves of London is completely a KSR thing now. This is completely a Dave Ramsey thing. Better than I deserve.
Well, see, it's funny in the same way. Baba O'Reilly by The Who was always the evening sports talk in Cincinnati. Lance McAllister, that was his.
Really?
So with my dad, when we listened to it with Dad, every time I'd hear Baba O'Reilly, that's all I can think of is Lance McAllister. So it's funny that you get those songs that connect with radio.
Bob O'Reilly. They used to play that Yankee Stadium a lot, too, during breaks.
You've heard that I'm wild.
Randy Travis, Forever and Ever, Amen, number 1 in 87.
You may wonder how.
I know you don't care.
I can promise you now.
You mean Sam. You mean Sam doesn't care for it?
No, I do not.
I do. I love it.
You do?
Yes, absolutely. That's the first country, one of the first country albums that I ever
I know
owned.
you at all today. Cool.
Yeah,
Whip.
because I listened to that album back and forth when I was running back and forth at Morgantown. Back when I was in my druthers days.
Oh, you're gonna double it up now? Oh,
you don't like Tracy Chapman? Give me one reason.
I don't know. It's not
number 1, 1996.
I don't know. It's not. Well, just a little too slow.
You prefer Fast Car by Tracy Chapman?
Yeah.
It's weird, fast car / slow song.
But it's talking about fast things.
You got a problem with Tracy Chapman? Mariah Carey, number 1. We Belong Together in 05. And let's get to 2014. Problem, Ariana Grande and Iggy Azalea were number 1. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, you will never plow a field if you only turn it over in your mind. You will never plow a field if you only turn it over in your mind. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,